Hey everyone. Whoa, is someone already in here? What's up? Hello. Um, Welcome to the stream. If you're here, if you're watching later, thanks for being here. I'm still getting over a lot of stuff I've been going through this past couple weeks. I guess it's been uh, affecting me and building up for a while, and I wasn't really noticing. I've been sick and I've been going through a lot. I don't have COVID. I got tested again. I got tested like 2 weeks ago, and then again yesterday. What's up, Christian Cotto? How's it going? So luckily, God, thank God, after with all the things I seem to get and all the health problems I seem to have, I've still managed to avoid getting COVID, which is really good, and for me at least, because I can't imagine with that on top of everything else I would be doing, uh, good. But hey, what's up, Riddle John? How's it going? Hey, Brendan Miller, how's it going? So I was sent home from work early yesterday, and I went to urgent care, and I've been, you know, this I guess it appears to be anemia because I went to the doctor again today, and all signs point to that I am anemic, and that's why I've been getting dizzy lately, and I've been having these chest pains and hyperventilating, and then I think by having, which like most cases when you're depressed, you don't really realize that you're just kind of like, I'm doing fine. I got a job. Things are looking up. You don't really think about it really, like when it's like crawling underneath, and I guess that's been that on top of everything else has pushed me into heavy anxiety and panic attacks. Like when I went to Sunday night, I was at Harley, and normally at Harley Davidson, my job, ends at 5 o'clock. But sometimes, when people are making motorcycle deals, this could take a while, and you have to stay a little longer. So usually I can get out of there by 5:30 and make it to my other job by 6:15, and that gives me time to walk into my other job and clock in at 6:30. But this past Sunday, I was there. I was at my other job. I was at Harley until 6:30. That's how long it took for this motorcycle deal to go through, and I think that probably wasn't doing too well for my anxiety. And I called Lego, and I was like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I'm going to be late. This doesn't happen often, but it happens sometimes, and I apologize." And the thing is, I'm so new at both jobs that it's hard for me to figure out. It's like, well, do I call out the other job? Do I leave? I can't leave this job. I'm already here, and they need me here until this deal is done. And so it's one of those situations where I was torn on what to do, and I think that hurt, exasperated my condition and helped push it over. So as you guys know, my body temperature has been in the 95s, which is not very good, and I've been low 95 sometimes, and even went under 95 like a week and a half ago when I was at the hospital, where they officially said I had hypothermia. They also, I was having breathing problems, so they recommended a inhaler to me, and they prescribed one along with my blood pressure medicine and stuff for anemia that I was taking. But unfortunately, I forgot that they gave me an inhaler. Thank God for Instagram, and thank God I went back on Instagram, because I think on one of my posts I posted it there, or maybe I posted it on YouTube. But I was like looking through my stuff, and I was like looking through my notes on my phone, and I go, "Oh, I have an inhaler. Like, where is it?" And it was in my backpack that I bring to work with me all the time, and it was just in the bottom of the backpack, and I completely forgot about it. So anytime I was having breathing problems, I wasn't taking the inhaler. So when I went to work on Sunday, I started sweating like profusely, and I wasn't doing too well at Lego. And one of the managers came up to me, and she said, "Hey, are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm fine." She goes, "Would you like to go home early? It's slow, and we don't really need everybody here." And I go, "Well, I feel bad because I got here late." And she's like, "It's okay. It's a slow day." And I said, "Well, this is my second double in a row and my fifth day of work in a row. So yeah, I'm really tired." And so she's like, "Yeah, go home." So I went home, thought everything would be fine, went to bed, woke up Monday morning, and it was I thought I felt fine, and then I went to work, and I had a really bad panic attack at Harley Davidson, and I don't know why. There was no reason that I wasn't overwhelmed, although sometimes 2 customers can overwhelm me, and sometimes it takes 10 customers. But we didn't have that many customers, but I was definitely overwhelmed, and I don't know why really, but it pushed me over the edge, and I couldn't breathe, and I was taking off my mask, and which I never do at work unless I'm eating or drinking something. And I was taking it off to breathe. And that's when I realized, okay, something's very wrong. So when my boss came back from a trip he was taking, like he had to go to another location. And when he came back, he was like, "Do you want to go?" And you know me, I'm like, at that point it was already 2 or 2:30, and I was like, come on, dude, you can tough this out. Like, you've been through worse. Don't be a baby. And but he could see I was saying that to myself, and he's like, dude, don't try to tough this out. If you don't feel good, go home or go to a doctor. And I said, you know what? If I'm going to leave, the only way I'll leave is if I go right to urgent care. I'm not going to go home and just go to bed and try to tough this out. I will go right to a doctor. So then I've just been through going through all that, and then on top of that, I guess admitting to myself that I may, on some level, be depressed because I can't think of any other explanation for the self-destructiveness I'm doing. Like, I left SeaWorld because the job was too hard on me, and then I immediately went and got 2 other jobs, which, to be fair, I didn't know I was going to get both jobs. And I really miss Lego, and I really like Harley. So I was like, I don't want to say no to these places. I think after the holidays, it'll be easier if on the off chance Lego keeps me. I think because I've called out twice and had to leave early twice, I don't think they're going to keep me. But on the off chance that they do, maybe I'll be all right, and I can keep both jobs. And I can just work Lego like twice, 2 days a week, and work Harley 3 or 4 days a week. And I think once I get to that schedule, I'll be fine. But it's just tough, because it's a lot, during the holidays. But yeah, thank you guys, Brendan. Thanks for saying you're praying for me. I appreciate it. Like, I'm okay. Like, I just need to deal with this, and I think I just don't need to deal with it alone, like I have been doing. I think the biggest and the hardest step to take sometimes when you're self-destructive and you're suffering is you need to talk to somebody about it. And I think I do kind of sometimes talk to you guys about it, and I talk to you guys about things that bother me or things like that. But I don't think I actually tell you guys how I'm really feeling sometimes. And it's not because I'm trying to shield you from anything or anything like that. It's just because I like talking about fun things like Venom, and so we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about Venom number 31. So we'll jump into that discussion. But first, I just wanted to kind of explain why I haven't been posting that much here, and all the Resident Evil videos you've been seeing on my other channel. I filmed those like a week and a half ago, or maybe even longer ago. It was, I filmed them like early December. It was like December 2nd or 3rd. I filmed most of those, and I think there's only one more I filmed after December 3rd. But and it was like on December 4th. So I filmed all those, and I was just like, well, I got to edit and post something. So luckily, I've been able to do that. But I was hoping today was my day off. I could do more recording, but I had to go to the doctor, and I was there for probably like 4 hours, and then by the time I got home, I took a nap, and then when I woke up, it was like 5:30, and I called my mom to check in on her, and then I said, you know what, I'm going to sit down and read Venom number 31 again, and then let's just do a live stream, and it won't be a long episode tonight, maybe like 30 minutes to an hour, somewhere in there, but I do run out of breath while talking, so just something I got to keep an eye on and stuff. So I appreciate you all being here. What's up, Siike? How's it going? X-Master, I'm doing okay, man. First Pepsid is first Pepsi is on me. All right, dude. Cool. I love Pepsi. I can't drink it right now. I'm drinking water right now. But yeah, that exec mentality sticks with a lot of us. It was good of your boss to let you leave. Take all the time you need to rest and recover. Hey, thanks for saying that, Rockefeller. Yeah, no, my boss is a really cool guy. And I think, I try not to complain to him too much. And I go into work every day not feeling well. Like that's just how I am and how I've been for the past 10 years. I almost never feel well. But so I still tough it out and I go in. But the stuff I'm normally toughing out, I've adjusted to. When I get stuff on top of that, it's hard. It's hard to deal with the pain I'm normally in, and then you throw in like trouble breathing and anxiety and things like that on top of it. And I am agoraphobic for the past like 4 years, like 4.5 years working at Lego. I've worked through that, because when I first started at Lego, I was just there like 2-3 days a week. And then, or I was there during Christmas, so it was busy at first, but then I dropped down to 2-3 days a week. And then over the course of 2 years, I went up to full time as a supervisor. And that was me adjusting to, okay, this is you getting out of your house, but I felt comfortable going to Lego because every time I would go to the hospital in California, go see my doctor, which at one point was almost weekly, I would go to Lego and Toys R Us afterwards. So those places kind of became a second home to me, and I felt really comfortable there. So that's why I like having the job at Lego, because I'm surrounded by Lego, and I don't feel as anxious as I am. No matter how many people are in the store, I can handle it. I think Harley's just going to take some time for me to adjust, because, like I said, sometimes 2 people can overwhelm me there, and sometimes 10. And that's not a lot of people. Like, I've dealt with that a lot more at Lego at one time. So but it's a new environment, so it's got to feel like I got to, get to that point where it feels like a second home to me. But yeah, thank you very much, Christian. I appreciate it. What's up, Tavia? How's it going? What's Toys R Us? Yeah, I know, man. Holy cow. I have that video still up on my channel. The last time I went to a Toys R Us, I mean, that place was awesome to me. I even tried to get a job there a couple times. I used to work at a Toys R Us many, many years ago. I think when I lived here in Orlando. I think I was working in production, but that Christmas, there was like very few jobs at Christmas. And so I went and got a job at Toys R Us, a second job at Toys R Us. As far as I can think back, I've always had either one really tough physical job, like landscaping or construction or something like that, or I've had 2 like fairly easy jobs compared to the physical ones, as far back as I can remember. So yeah, I've been working my whole life. So Venom 31. I was gonna say I was working my whole life since I was 13, and then I was like, oh, that's funny. When you flip 13 around, it's 31, and that's the issue of Venom we're talking about today. Thank you all for the 9 thumbs up. I appreciate it. Thanks for letting me talk about that for the first 10 minutes, and just kind of get that off my chest and update you guys on what's going on. If you haven't seen, I am back on Instagram, and I will be staying on there for a while just to post updates and things like that. But Twitter, I'm still not back on on Twitter. But on Instagram, I'm back on Twitter. Back on Instagram. So Venom 31. Obviously, this is the second part of the big King in Black storyline, the Null storyline. We talked about issue 1, I think like 2 weeks ago when it came out. And by the way, this is a new Kindle Fire. This was a Christmas gift to me, which is really awesome. It's I don't know what it's called, Twilight Blue or something. It's really cool. It's got a 10-inch screen, and it makes, since my eyes, and my head hurts a lot from reading comics on my phone, this was a nice gift because now it's bigger and I can read my digital comics way easier and nicer. So this is not me so much doing a commercial for them, but just saying that I really love it. I've had 5, this is my 5th Kindle Fire, actually. I love these things. They're great for reading comics. This one also has a camera on it, so I can do Zoom calls and Skype and things like that. So I'm really happy that I have this thing because it'll make my life easier. I can do a lot of things from bed now, which is good because I'll probably be spending a lot more time in bed for the foreseeable future. Venom and Lego are the 2 best things. Hey, what's up, Daniel B? I agree. Speaking of which, I can't really monetize the video, or I don't know. I have to figure out how I can do this now because I work at Lego again. But there's a Lego Venom set that is out right now that I'm going to try to buy myself for Christmas, which is it's the T-Rex Venom set. I've been wanting it since it came out, but when it came out, I didn't know if any Lego stores were open. So I haven't been able to buy it. But that's the set I'm going to try to get for myself for Christmas. So if I do, I'll try to do like a live build where we talk and, while I build it or something. And then Echo, calm down. And then also, what was it? Oh, there's a Carnage set coming out in January with Ghost Rider. So we may do that, but I might make that a Highway to Hell episode. I think while I'm not feeling well, I might go back and edit some Highway to Hell episodes that I recorded like 2-3 months ago, and I might try to finally post those. And there's also a new Ghost Rider comic book coming out called Vengeance. I think it's called King in Black Vengeance or something. I don't know. So we'll probably cover that too on the Ghost Rider show, Highway to Hell. And then once we get through a couple Ghost Rider things, we may actually kick up the Spawn show at some point. But I'm not going to try to overwhelm myself anytime soon with more shows. We have Resident Evil show, Nemesic, on the gaming channel, and we have Venom Vlog here, and this is what I'm going to try to stick with. What's up, Skullman? How's it going, dude? Good to see you. Hello there. What's up, Florent? How's it going? Who do you think is a better actress, Anya Taylor-Joy or Gina Carano? Hard for me to decide. Oh, I don't know, but they're both wonderful, and I have a crush on both of them. So I don't know. That's a good question. All right, so we're 15 minutes in. We got to talk about Venom 31. So Venom 31, for those of you guys who have been reading it, it's called 32 Seconds. I guess the whole book takes place in 32 seconds, maybe, is the thought here. Written by Donny Cates and art by Iban Coelho, who I'm a huge fan of. His art's amazing in this book. I really love this first page with Rex Strickland. So it's kind of Narrated, it kind of goes back. It says a long time ago, Rex Strickland's warehouse, and it's the moments leading up to him seeking out the current host of the Venom suit. And so he's kind of recapping you. And you know how I feel about this with Donny Cates. Donny Cates seems to feel the need to recap people a lot, and I don't really like that. I feel it's really lazy writing. But one of my criticisms was, if you're going to recap it, but you're telling it through the eyes of someone else, not Eddie Brock, so you're not getting his perspective on the events, you're getting someone else's, that could work. And to give Donny credit, that's what he does here. Donny actually does that. He has this flashback or recap told through the eyes of Rex Strickland, but while he's recapping things, current events are still happening. So this is one of those instances where it's using that writing trope, but in a way where I like it because it still advances the plot of things. And hold on, let me just shut my door a little because Echo's drinking out there and it's really loud. But it's one of those where he's using the trope, I think, in a good way, like in a way where I'm like, okay, you're visually advancing the current story where Eddie Brock has been thrown off a building, but you're also filling in some gaps for people who are maybe just jumped on during King in Black, which makes sense. Like, to do a recap at the end of Venom Island made no sense. It was so stupid to do that and waste 10 pages of a book that they charged you like $6 to read. This is a $4 book and it's recapping things, but it's at the beginning of an event book like King in Black. So it kind of, to me, it strategically makes sense. It almost flow-wise makes a little sense, but it still does feel like just filler at the same time. So if you have been reading all this time, it feels like a filler issue. But if you haven't, if you're just jumping on a King in Black, I feel like it's an issue you probably really appreciate. Hey, yes, Florent. Florent says he hopes you are all doing fine today. We hope the same for you, Florent. So it starts off with Rex Strickland kind of like looking back and going like, okay, who is this guy? I was looking for Flash Thompson. He seems someone who's probably a little bit more put together. He has actual government training. He's someone who I could probably communicate with, who has seems to have a good relationship with the symbiote. But I don't know what happened to him. He went to space and then he came back, I think, and I don't know what happened to him. So it looks like I'm going to have to deal with this Eddie Brock guy. So this is right after, I think, after he met Eddie. So this is when what was it, issue 3 or something, 2 or 3, Eddie goes and he stands in front of that truck in the tunnel and the truck crashes into him and it's Eddie freeing the symbiotes. So for those recap, Rex Strickland is a guy who fought in Vietnam, but this is not actually Rex Strickland. It's a symbiote pretending to be Rex Strickland. This symbiote and 4 others, much like the Life Foundation symbiotes, I like the parallel there that Donny did, where it's 5 symbiotes that were pulled from the Grendel by Nick Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D. right before Vietnam. And they sent these 5 symbiotes over to Vietnam, bonded to human hosts, and they kind of were the first versions of Agent Venom. They had like 24 hours to do a mission and then come back. But the mission went wrong. All of them died except Rex. Rex himself did die, but the symbiote decided to disguise itself as Rex and live for these past so many years since Vietnam as Rex Strickland. So he has sent, at this point, sent Eddie off to go rescue the other 4 symbiotes that are the symbiotes themselves that lived. Obviously, the human hosts had died, but they couldn't let those symbiotes be rebonded to the Grendel because it would make the Grendel more powerful and can make its connection to Null stronger or something. I can't remember fully what it was. But yeah, so that's pretty much what he's doing. So while Rex is doing this, he's starting to notice, more people that are possessed. They have the spirals on their head. Yeah, I guess you can't really see that too well because of the light, and I'm sorry for that. I can't really focus it or dim it. Let's see if I can do this. Does that help? Nope. So okay, sorry. So anyway, so Rex is working on this mission, and he is like, I guess I got to deal with this Eddie Brock guy. But what makes this guy tick? Why him? And how come he doesn't know his own symbiote's name? Because apparently, obviously together they're called Venom, but apparently the symbiote does have another name, much like the child and everybody calls it Baby Yoda. I guess the symbiote actually has a name. So that was something they set up and they never paid off. So it looks like they might be building towards that in King in Black. So we might actually learn the real name of the symbiote, which again, that's not continuity that bothers me. If you're going to add that to the continuity, it doesn't really bother me. I'm like, that's fine. It was never established before. And the suit isn't called Venom. It's just Venom when it bonds with Eddie. That's the name they came up with together. So It'd be neat to hear what its its original name was. That'd be kind of cool. There was rumor of the Lego Carnage helmet set sometime in 2021. I don't know anything about that. That'd be awesome. But yeah, I don't know. The one thing that's happened since I stopped working at Lego was I stopped paying attention to Lego news. Now that I'm back there, I've paid attention to some news, but I don't pay attention to rumors because I'm not really supposed to know any of that stuff. So yeah, I don't know. But that'd be awesome. A Lego Carnage helmet. I doubt that's gonna. I mean, that seems intense, but for Lego, but maybe. I hope you're okay. Hey, thanks, man. Like the Clintar, yeah, like the Clintar. That's right. But weren't they called the Clintar from Bendis? No, the Clintar is always. That's been their name, I think, since Planet of the Symbiotes. I think that's when they announced that they were from the planet Clintar. Because I don't know if we knew too much before Planet of Symbiotes about, where Venom, or not Venom, but the suit came from. Because when it was bonded to Peter, he didn't really investigate too much. Reed Richards didn't really figure out what planet it came from when he was investigating the symbiote. So yeah, I think Planet of the Symbiotes though was when they actually typed the words Planet Clintar. Maybe before, but I feel like I think I remember it being Planet of Symbiotes. No, it's not from Bendis and Guardians of the Galaxy. Not at all. Don't give Bendis credit for stuff he didn't do. Bendis did not create the word Clintar. As far as I know, he did not create the word Clintar. I'm pretty sure it was listed as Clintar in Planet of Symbiotes. So anyway, so then, like I said, Rex Strickland is narrating, but the rest of this book is all about Eddie Brock falling. So this is, I didn't mind this so much as like a visual thing. Like it's like like the Eddie Brock is falling off of the building. Okay, great. But they kind of, I won't say drag it out, but they make that the visual throughout the whole story. And the reason they're doing that is they're paralleling what Rex Strickland is saying. And Rex Strickland, what I really like is he's really trying to get to the root of who Eddie Brock is. And I can tell that's also what Donny Cates is trying to do as a writer, is trying to figure out really who Eddie Brock is. He claims that Eddie Brock is just the comeback kid, and that's the comeback king or whatever, and that's kind of his thing. Sure, that's a good way to describe Eddie. I've never disagreed with Donnie on that. But what I like here is that Donnie's really trying to work out and give you his opinion in some way through Rex Strickland who Eddie Brock is. Why does Eddie Brock care so much about saving innocent people? Like, what happened to him? What made him that way? And it's funny because Donny Cates retconned some of the things that made him that way, which is why this was a little frustrating for me to read. Yeah, Venom's the symbiote's real name is Joe. That's the one. Yeah, Eddie has been given multiple second chances, but has he been given them or has he earned them? I would say he's earned a lot of those second chances in my mind. And yeah, he's been given some, but I think he's earned others. So I don't feel like it's just been handed to him all the time. I think a lot of times Eddie has to earn this stuff. But it's funny when Eddie, they ask the question why are you like this, Eddie? It's well, he used to have a sister that used to torment him, and she would give him crap, and she would blame him for their mother's death because obviously Eddie's mom died while giving birth to Eddie, and his sister used to blame him for that. And his dad, that great line, that great scene in Dark Origin, which I know a lot of people aren't a fan of Dark Origin, but there's some good stuff in Dark Origin, and I like that scene where Eddie turns to his dad and says, "Dad, you believe me, right? I didn't kill Mom. Tell her to stop. Tell my sister to stop picking on me." And the dad says, "Yeah, leave your brother alone. He's not responsible for your mom's death." And he walks away. And Eddie goes, "I can tell a liar when I see one, and my dad's lying right now." So so even his dad blames him for that. And so Eddie has this, that sets up Eddie psychologically. That is someone who is yearning for the approval and also yearning for release from a sin he didn't actually commit. It's not his fault his mom died while giving birth. I have a nephew who his mom, my Aunt Joan, passed away after she gave birth to him. It's not his fault. These are things that sadly and tragically happen, and they're heartbreaking and they're awful. But it's not on him. It's not on Eddie, and Eddie is looking for a way to accept that it's not his fault, but he has a sister and a dad who constantly remind him that it is his fault, or they blame him for it. It's not his fault, but they blame him for it. And that is why I think that answers a lot of these questions that Donny Cates asks. But since Donny Cates retconned the sister and then just made Eddie Brock's dad an abusive father, and then came up with this scenario where Eddie Brock hit a kid while drunk driving when he was like a teenager, and they had to cover that up or something like that. Eddie had this thing where he was like, he was forced to say he's innocent, and that broke his compass of what innocent really means. I like that too. I feel like Donnie could have still added that without taking away previous stuff. So when I was reading this, I was a little frustrated with Donnie because I'm like, you're asking questions that already had answers to them, but then you retcon those so that you can do your own version. And I hate that. I hate that about Donnie's writing. But still, like the overall focus of this book, I didn't dislike. I was like, okay, well, he's trying to get to the root of who Eddie is. So, okay, fine. That's fine. And the falling thing, I was like, okay, that's fine too. The moment where Eddie is falling and he's praying to God, I really liked that because I felt like that's something that hasn't really been addressed too much in the book, that Eddie is religious. So him praying to God, like saying, like, I don't want my son to inherit my darkness. We talk about that all, people who have grown up with child abuse like myself, or even sexual abuse as a kid like myself, like it's, I don't know, like sometimes these monsters do things to people when they're younger, and those people can repeat that cycle. And Eddie, like any good parent or any good adult, doesn't want that to happen to Dylan. He doesn't want Dylan to become like him or have the life that Eddie's had to have, this hard, tough life where he doesn't know right from wrong sometimes, and he's broken and he's constantly trying to bounce back from horrible situations. Like he doesn't want to pass it on, and I can relate to that. Like I think about that. Like someone asked me recently, like, why aren't you a dad? How come we never settled down? And I'm like, well, it's been hard the past 10 years trying to figure out that kind of stuff with my health and everything. And plus, I think about aneurysms being hereditary, in a lot of cases, and me not wanting to pass that onto a child. And I'm like, yeah, these are all real things. Like, I really, so I like that. I like that angle for Eddie. I think Donnie does a really great job with that. I always think his best stuff is between Donnie's best stuff is between Eddie and Dylan. So yeah, I like it. So Dylan does have a moment at the end where he tries to connect to the Hive because Iron Man's like, no, stay down. We think Venom's been defeated. We don't know what's going on. So, stay out of this fight, Dylan. And Dylan's like, no, I'm going to, connect to Null. I'm going to try to find out what's going on. And then he does. And he sees, he sees this on TV, which is weird. I'm like, how did they get a camera up on that angle? But whatever. The art's beautiful. Bon Quilla's art's beautiful. So he sees the symbiote get ripped off. Null rips the symbiote off, tells the suit, like, you're with me now. Don't worry, little one. I got you. You're returned to your home. And the symbiote's like, no, Eddie is my home. Please don't take me away from him. And I like that too. Again, given the symbiote a personality, it's something we didn't get a ton of in the Flash Thompson stuff. So I really like seeing it here because it is a character. It is alive and thinks for itself. So that's what I like Donnie does. He does have it think for itself. And even though he has to do things that I disagree with sometimes, at least he gives the suit a personality. So I really like that too. So yeah, it's one of those issues where this has a lot of Donnie's strengths in it, but it also reflects some of his weaknesses, in my opinion. Again, some of you guys might disagree. So if you do, let me know. But I do like the moment where Eddie's praying. And then the book does end with Eddie falling, and he hits a bunch of things on the way down, breaking bones and all kind of stuff, like hitting like stairwells and sides of buildings and stuff. And it looks like he's pretty much just going to fall to his death. But this is where I got upset, because if you remember the first issue, I thought him getting the suit ripped off and thrown off the building, I was like, that's kind of a lame cliffhanger. I didn't like King in Black #1 as much as I liked Absolute Carnage #1. Absolute Carnage #1 was awesome. But unfortunately, that series, in my opinion, got worse as it kept going. Whereas this, I'm hoping gets better. I'm hoping it starts off a little weakish and slow and gets better and better. I would have liked it to start off like Absolute Carnage did and get better from there. But, in my opinion, it's not that. But some of you guys, again, may disagree. But at the end with him falling and he's like nearly hitting the ground, I wish he would just hit the ground. Again, give this issue something. Like, it felt like filler. So in the next issue, in issue 2 of King in Black, if Eddie doesn't hit the ground, then I'm going to be like, okay, so this was dragged out for like a whole, 3 weeks or whatever for no reason. Like, I'd rather, if Eddie's going to hit the ground, just have him hit the ground and show it. That way everyone can go, oh crap, what's going to happen next? And I feel like that would have been a better ending for this, is like him just hitting and bouncing off all the buildings and then just smashing into the ground and being just a puddle. Then you'd be like, oh my God, I got to rank King in Black #2. But this, him almost hitting the ground, I'm like, Yeah, that doesn't make me want to read, King in Black #2 like more. I'm already going to read it so I can cover it for the show, but it doesn't make me go like, oh my God, he hit the ground. What's going to happen? Even if he hit the ground, we know he's not going to die. They're going to do something like the God of Light or something's going to show up, or, maybe Wolverine will grab him, or, Iron Man will grab him or something. Like, who knows? We'll see what happens the next issue. But still, I'm like, if he's going to hit the ground, just have him hit the ground. But that's why I'm thinking he's probably not going to hit the ground. So in the next issue, he'll probably get saved, and we'll definitely talk about that then. Oh, sorry, Daniel B. I missed your message there. He did go after Flash Thompson, Agent Venom. Rex Strickland, not really, because he never made contact with Flash Thompson. But yeah, that is rough for Eddie. Yeah, that is. Yeah, it did feel like filler, though, right? I did feel like filler. But I hope not, but it's like a filler for a new reader. So that's why I'm like, I'm not as hard on Donnie for it. It's filler, but it's like if you haven't been reading Venom and you picked up or you read like the first couple issues of Venom and you're like, oh, I like this, but I haven't, kept up, and you picked King in Black #1, this is a good way to be like, okay, here's something extra. But the problem is there's been like already 3 or 4 issues leading up to King in Black that have recapped us. So it's kind of like, well, why do we need another recap? So, but whatever, it's fine. To me, this is like a good version of a recap. It just sucks that it comes after like 2 other versions of recaps we've already gotten recently. Like since Venom Island, this is like our 3rd recap. So I'm kind of like over the recaps now. But at least this one also advanced a little bit. Like at least you saw Eddie falling throughout most of the issue, which was fine. But then Eddie like falling and then reaching for a helicopter to break his fall for like 2 seconds. And that whole thing, I didn't like any of that. That was all kind of dumb and page filler stuff. But the art was great, so I do like the art. Maybe Iron Man will try to bring him back to life. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if he hits the ground. I'm going to be mad that he didn't hit the ground at the end of this issue. If he doesn't hit the ground, then I'll be fine. I'm excited to see Matt Smith as Lucius in Morbius. Oh yeah, Lucius. Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, we got another trailer from Morbius, but it wasn't new. Like everyone was telling me, like, dude, don't react to it. Don't do a reaction video because it's pretty much the same trailer we got, just re-edited. So whenever we get a new trailer, I will react to Morbius, and we'll talk more about more. I have a couple like single issue Morbius stories that I want to do episodes on. We're not going to do the full history of Morbius. We did the origin of him already in one episode previously, but we're not going to go through his whole history just because there's a movie being made by him. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk more about Morbius probably next year. Wait, I meant to say Eddie went after Flash Thompson. Oh, Eddie did. I'm sorry. I for some reason I read that as Rex, but I don't think you said anyone's name. So that was me just misreading you. I'm sorry, dude. No, you don't owe me an apology. I think for some reason my head saw Rex on the screen, but I scrolled back. There's no Rex. So that's my fault. I did review the final issue of Bendis Superman, and I am so happy he's finally leaving the book. Yeah, me too. If you guys haven't checked out Tavia's channel, please do. Tavia posts some really fun reviews, and he does a lot of DC stuff, which I'm a bigger DC fan than I am a Marvel fan. So I like watching Tavia's channel. And Tavia, have you read The Challenge of the Super Sons yet? Because I know you're a big fan of Jonathan Kent and Damian Wayne. So that just came out digitally yesterday, I think, for 99 cents, the first issue. So hopefully you read that too. You did? Good. All right, good. I know you're a big fan. So there will be another King in Black video probably before the end of this season. I don't know if it'll be King in Black #2. I don't know if I'll discuss that one. I might save that for January for season 5 of Venom Vlog. But Atlantis Attacks #5 and the Union #1 were donated to me by Cam Fraser. Cam is a viewer of ours, and Cam's really awesome. And so what I might do is Cam said that they would basically give me digital codes for all the tie-ins that they buy and asked that I would discuss them. So what I'll do is I will discuss Atlantis Attacks #5 and the Union, but as a pre-recorded video, because I want to, gather my thoughts on it, and I want to reread them too, because I read them once already, but I have to reread them now. So we're not going to talk about those on today's episode. So I'll probably make that episode before the end of the season, and we're going to finish the Flash Thompson run. We have 3 issues left. We're going to talk about that, of dealing with Mania. And then I'll try to at least get through the Thunderbolts, the 5 volumes of Thunderbolts, and the 3 or 4 volumes of Bendis's Guardians of the Galaxy that had Venom in them. I'll at least try to. I'll probably only get through Thunderbolts, to be honest with you, because we only have like 7 episodes left till episode 600, and I already recorded episode 600 for Venom Vlog. So yeah, and that'll be the history of Venom and video games. So that'll be a lot of fun. Hope you guys like that one. It's taken a lot of time to edit, so yeah, that's why I set it so far ahead and I recorded it so far in advance. But you'll probably get that on Christmas Day, maybe, episode 600. So I'm going to try to get to episode 600 between now and Christmas Day, if I can. If not, it'll be New Year's Day. You'll get it. So it'll be one of those two. So much for taking 2 weeks off for Christmas like I wanted to. But with all the Resident Evil news, and then with my health and me being home more, it's like I can slowly put out videos now, and that's fine. So Atlantis Attacks and Union number 1, we'll discuss those in another video, and that'll probably be our last King in Black episode before the end of the season. And then we'll get into more King in Black stuff next month in January for sure. Speaking of me, what's up? There's our donor right there. How you doing, Cam? Yep, I did, and in fact, I do my review of that amazing issue, and I was so happy. Nice, good to hear. Hopefully, Sony gives us the Venom 2 trailer as a Christmas present after it was delayed from April. You know what? Ever since, what was it? I think it was April. I think ever since April, people have been saying Venom trailer in December, Venom trailer in December, and I'm like, I don't know where you guys are getting that from. Like, it's just so funny. All you need is one person on the internet to say something, and then everyone says it's true. And it drives me so insane. Would it be cool to get a Venom trailer for the holidays? Sure. I would love that, but I'm not counting on it. Like, I don't know why I would be counting on it. We didn't get a new Morbius trailer. We got a new Morbius trailer, but it was just a re-edited version. We didn't get really any new footage. So I feel like if they're not going to do much for promoting Morbius and put any real effort in to get a new trailer out there. And I saw Jared Leto's little video he made where he's talking to people, and it's, I'm sure the guy's very tired. It looks like he does a lot of traveling and stuff, even during the pandemic, he's doing things, but he just, I don't know. He doesn't seem very interested. He just kind of you can tell he's reading off of a card of what to say, which is probably good. Maybe he's afraid he might say something he's not supposed to say, which that's fine, but it just lacked enthusiasm. You can tell he was filming that after doing 10 interviews that day. And I'm just oh man, I wish we got him pumped. I don't want a scripted thing. He was oh, it's part of a shared universe. He was saying things like that. And I'm I know that's what you're told to say, but I want to see passion when people play these roles. Tom seems to have a lot of fun with Eddie, and he had a lot of fun talking about playing Eddie. And I want to see that. I want to see Jared Leto be yeah, this guy he's got this condition. I want to see him really get into it. And he has, I think, in one other interview he did back earlier this year when Morbius was supposed to come out. But I think now he just looks like he's tired. He looked like he was tired in that intro, and I was I feel bad for the guy, because I know what that's like. You're tired. You maybe don't feel good, and you gotta do things do interviews and stuff. It's it happens. But I want to see a little bit more passion. So hopefully we will. But I feel that effort that they showed for Morbius wasn't a ton of effort. So that makes me think, well, then they're probably, because look, they had all these months to edit a Venom trailer, and they didn't show it off at CXP or whatever it was, CCXP. And to me, I'm well, that was the last event thing that could have helped gain it some traction, because some of the things that came out of that event kind of got some news traction. So to just drop it out of thin air, I mean, it's possible, but it doesn't seem like it's worth doing. But also, I don't know, maybe it's just keeping costs down. They're we don't need to spend money at an event, or, but I'm but the events aren't the same as they were. So I don't know. I'm playing devil's advocate with myself, and I'm not making a clear point. My clear point here is I don't think we're going to get a Venom trailer in December for the second movie. And I think everybody who has been saying since April that we are just full of shit, and they don't know. And if we do get one, the worst part is they're all going to come to my channel and go, see, we told you ever since April, we've been telling you. And it's but you didn't know definitively in April that we were going to get a trailer in December. You didn't know. Once they announced they were pushing the movie back, and everyone's trailer in December, and it's you don't know that. You're guessing because someone else guessed it. But it's I doubt Sony, after they announced the movie's being delayed, that the next thing they said in their meeting was, okay, so it's being delayed till July next year, so we'll have a trailer out in December. Like they're more focused on the movie being delayed. They don't care about the trailer right now. Like they'll get the trailer out when it's um, when it makes sense to start advertising the movie. I'm good, Cam. I'm good, man. I'm glad you are too. Who do you like better as an actress? And you already asked me that, Skullman. I answered that at the beginning of the episode. Or you asking me because you tagged me, or are you asking the people in the chat? General Kenobi. Yes. So yeah, thank you guys. But yeah, no Venom. I don't think we're gonna get a Venom trailer. If we do, I'll be surprised. I'll flat out tell you. Because I saw someone comment on my video the other day, like, can you please just tell me when the Venom trailer is coming out? And I'm like, I don't know when the Venom trailers. You think Sony's gonna tell like me? Like I have 2,500 subscribers, which is a lot in my opinion, but it's not a lot to Sony. They don't care about my channel. The only time anyone cared about my channel was like some producer guy or some like visual effects guy. I did a video on him, and he asked me to take it down because he said I was too complimentary. And I'm like, okay, dude. I mean, if it bothers you that much, I'll take the episode down. And then we just replaced it with episode 0. So yeah, I was like, not a big deal. I'm like, yeah, it's fine, dude. If it bothers you that much, I'll take it down. I'm not here to like upset anybody. But the guy was such a prick about it. Like he was just such an asshole about it. So yeah, I mean, but other than that, no one cares about my channel really. So they're not going to tell me stuff. I mean, it was nice that Kevin Burke and Doc Wyatt, like me and like my channel, who did the Maximum Venom cartoon, because that allowed us to get some interviews for the channel and stuff. So that was amazing of them, and I'm glad that they like the channel. That means a lot. And obviously, Tom knows of the channel, and Jake Tamori and some of the actors from the first movie, like Ariadne and Martin Bat Bradford and Ellen Gerstein and Jared Bankins, like they know about the channel and they're fans, and that's awesome to me. Like that to me is enough. I don't need Sony's blessing on anything, and I don't really want information. I'm not a scooper. I'm not someone who just tries to get information out there and to be the first at anything. I just cover things as I see them, and I react to things as I see them, and I just share my passion with you guys, and you guys share it with me about the character, and that's what I'm here to do, is just do that and create a community of just Venom fans. Like that's all I want to do, is just talk Venom and have different of opinions to where we don't like scream at each other. Like we actually have civil conversation over something simple, like a Venom, like our favorite version of Venom. So that's all I try to do here. I'm not here to, know things beforehand. Someone did contact me once and asked me if I would be interested in knowing something, and I told them no. I said, no, I like to be on the same level as my audience the best I can. And that's more important to me, is to be a fan while doing this as much as a journalist. So yeah. My computer froze, so I didn't hear your answer. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I said I couldn't decide because I love them both and I have a crush on them both. So I'm like you, I can't decide. Man, Daniel B, why do your messages keep getting retracted? What's going on, dude? Anyway, so I'm gonna go now. My chest's hurting a little bit, and I need to maybe try to eat something. I haven't. It sucks so bad. My mind is like I'm still stressed about things. Like when I have to leave work early, and I'm sweating now like crazy now. It eats at me. Like it's a reminder that I'm not 100%. Like and I never will be, obviously, again. But it's like it eats at me, and so like when I like today, I made a pizza. I had a frozen pizza. I put it in the oven. I thought only 10 minutes went by. 20 went by, and I burnt it. Like not bad enough to where I couldn't eat some of it, but I could only eat some of it. Then turns out I thought I turned the stove off, but I turned it all the way to broil, and it was on broil all day. And I fell asleep, probably breathing in all that heat. And when I woke up, I felt nauseous and I didn't feel good. And I felt hot, like hotter than normal. And I went and looked and I saw that the stove was on broil and that my kitchen felt hot. And so I turned it off immediately, went and turned the AC on, and then turned my 2 fans towards the kitchen, opened up the sliding glass door to let the heat out. I'm trying not to fall apart here, I guess. So yeah, I'm going to go and figure out what I'm going to do for dinner, and I'll end on that, like, just dreary note. I answered your question. Okay, cool. Gotcha. Um, but you guys, like I always say, take care of yourselves. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting. I don't know if you saw my post on Instagram the other day, or I don't know if I posted it on YouTube or not. I meant to, so I don't know if I did it on my community board. But this year, you guys have shown so much support for this channel. I've uploaded just in the year 2020. YouTube sent me a thank you letter saying like, hey, thanks for uploading 6,676 minutes of content. That blew me away because there was a YouTuber that I watch. Her name's Dizzy, and she does like Final Fantasy playthroughs and stuff. And those are long games. And I looked at her, I saw her letter she posted on Instagram, and it said that she uploaded in the year 2020 1,200 minutes of content. And I was like, wow, that's a lot of content. And then when I saw mine was 6,000, almost 6 times as much as her content, just on Venom, mostly on Venom, some Seek and Destroy episodes, but mostly Venom. And I'm like, holy cow, like we've uploaded so much stuff here, like to this channel this year. And it showed how many likes I got from you guys, how many new subscribers we got, how many views we got, all these things. Like it blew me away, man. It was unbelievable to see those numbers and to see that, that I created that much content this year. It boosted my, self-esteem a little bit. And you guys do constantly, which is nice because the one thing I struggle with right now is on top of all the other things I do, working 2 jobs and doing this, I do sometimes stay up late to work on my novel, King of Neverland, because it was kickstarted, a couple years ago, and I'm still trying to finish it. Like I figured it would take a while to do it. I thought I was going to get it done really quickly, and once I realized it wasn't, I told people like, okay, this might take a while, and it has been. And I feel defeated sometimes by that book and by my inability to just complete the damn thing. So it's nice to see that I completed that much this year. But I also need to get this book done too. So that's what I look forward to most next year is that the less time I'll have to work. Because when I got here and it was COVID, the first month I didn't do anything. I didn't write. I didn't do anything. I just relaxed, like my doctor told me to. And then I started getting back into streaming and then writing. And then I started contacting my editor again on the book. And we've been going back and forth, and we disagree on a lot of things, but that's what I pay them to do. That's what I want her to do, is to challenge me. And but sometimes when I get challenged, I'm like, I really need time to think about how I'm going to overcome this challenge and kind of meet the direction she's kind of pointing me in, or at least the feedback she's giving me. But also because I don't want her just to challenge me on like my typos. I told her, I said, I want you to challenge me on story ideas, and I want a different opinion on some of these things. And so that, that it just makes things take time. So I want to get that done. And I want to, finish that and never really write again. Like maybe I'll write short stories from now on, but I'll never write a book that's like 2 books long, because that's what Neverland is. It's 2 novels. So it's like, it's a lot. It's a lot. But one of them I might actually be able to get done really soon. So I would like to, so I can either right before the end of the year or right at the beginning of next year, at least give Kickstarter backers a PDF of that and be like, hey, here's something to read. And while we finish the other book. So, but this one might actually be almost done. So I'm like, I'm just waiting for an email to see if we finally agree on something. So we'll see. Burnt pizza is the best type pizza. Oh man, well, not this kind of pizza. It was like a Tostino's pizza. So yeah, those don't taste as good burnt to me. Hey, Gabby, what's up? I don't think I ever clicked a video so quick. Well, I appreciate that you did, but we are at the end of the video, sadly. But thank you all for the 15 thumbs up. Gabby, I'm sorry. We'll have to catch you next time. Everybody else, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm starting to get winded. So, I will see you guys soon. I'll try to get another Venom vlog up in the next day or 2. I'll probably wait till tomorrow morning to record because I think tonight I'm just going to rest for the rest of the night. But we'll record our final Flash Thompson video, which is from this book here, the Cullen Bunn collection. The last 3 issues are called Mania, so we'll cover that. And there's also a letter at the end called Simbi Wrote, and it's by Cullen Bunn talking about the plans that he had and what he would have done if the book had not been canceled or brought to an end. So we'll talk about all that in an episode I'll record tomorrow, and I'll try to post it on Thursday for you guys. I'm going to be off Thursday. Now that I saw the doctor today, I'm hoping work will still give me Thursday off so I can just rest. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get someone to cover my shift on Thursday so I can just actually have another day of rest. Because today I spent 4 hours at the doctor, so I didn't really rest until I came home in the afternoon. And then I did rest. I took a nap, but I slept with the freaking stove on. So, and now I'm up now and I'm tired again. So I think I just need a day of just full on just sleep and stay in bed all day with my Kindle reading comic books. So that's what I'm gonna try to do on Thursday. So thank you guys again for the support. Thanks for the 16 thumbs up. Thanks for everything. Thanks for this year. Thanks for being Venom fans. Thanks for being fans of other things and talking about them in my stream. Thanks for recommending movies to me and TV shows, even though I take forever to watch them. Thanks for just being here with me through my ups and downs. And one thing is I don't want to turn this into like a soap opera of me just complaining about my physical and mental state. But I appreciate you guys letting me talk about it a little bit at the beginning here. I still feel like that stuff ties into Venom, and that's one of the reasons I like the character so much, is because it gives us an avenue to talk about things like depression and suicide and things like that. And so I appreciate the fact that you guys let me talk about that here. It means a lot, and it does help me. And but I will be going to seek other avenues and professional help too, to talk about as well, so that way we can just kind of mainly keep to the fun stuff here. But I like that from time to time you guys let me vent, and it's much appreciated, and it's much needed apparently. So thank you again. I love you guys so much, and I will see you all in the future. Peace.